Hello everyone, and welcome to Nativ's first co-stream of the season, third NLC First Division game of 2024. I'm Lisa, and I'm going to be your host tonight. I'd like to start by introducing the two casters that will be joining us for this season's co-streams. Returning to the team from a successful stint during last year's Aurora Cup, we have Zathos.
Yes, hello. It's a pleasure to be back. I am a bit rusty, I'm not going to lie. It's been 2 months since then. No joke, literally, that was my last cast. So it's good to be back with Nativz. Of course, even being on holiday for a little bit, to come back for such an incredible org.
Yeah, we're definitely very happy to have you here. And completing the team, we have one that is a little bit heavy to carry, a name well known in the Irish student esports scene, Sandbag.
Yep, excited to be here, and like you said, even more excited to be reunited. The esports winter is over. We have canceled it. We are moving on. We will never get this point right because sometimes it's mirrored, sometimes it's not. So we're gonna be swiping past that. But excited to be here for Nativz.
We're also very happy to have you here. So we're gonna have a little table graphics now, so we can talk a bit about the standings and also what happened last week. Oh, sorry about that. Skipping that part. I'm sorry. We're gonna be playing against Venomcrest tonight, and tomorrow we are also playing against Rudy Esports at 6 p.m. CET. Just a quick reminder that those co-streams will be happening every Wednesday and Thursdays. And how do you guys think that the game's gonna go tonight? Any thoughts?
It's going to be a kind of a difficult game, I think, because the two teams we face have been very different in the standings. Because of course, Lungfizz Lightside, somebody who I had the pleasure of casting back in Division 2, is 0-2 right now. Does kind of seem like the weakest team. Is now 0-3, of course, just lost against Lions Creed, and we went up against Nord Esport, who is 1-1, who we just beat. So I think with everything that's happened, we have a solid chance to beat Venomcrest and put our names as one of the favorites to at least get into the top 4.
All right. That seems very good. How about you, Sandbag?
Yep, I'd agree. I think stiffer competition on this one. The 2-0 start for Venomcrest obviously is going to be a nice kind of starting to build this momentum that they have, but very, very early days and a lot to be played for in this one. And highlighting some... I'd love to see the bot lane actually be able to play the game this time instead of the classic solo queue 5-man bot every single game and actually play out, see what these teams have to offer.
All right, that's cool. Thanks very much, guys. Should we take a look at our roster then?
Oh, now this is where I'm going to be really excited because I've seen a lot of players from Division 1, Division 2, all over the League of Legends scene. And tell me today, I think this might be one of the best teams Nativz ever had. And it all starts off with their top laner of Smurfy, a 19-year-old, started over in the Nordic League, being Nordic himself, coming somewhere a little bit comfortable. He was in Vanir, if anybody knows that before. Division 1 team that was brought out by Lions Creed this season, but is still in very strong standing. Because before he even joined them, he went to a Spanish league called Cazones, owned by Ruben Garcia, who's a football player, if you knew about that. Then joined Lil Esports, been in the French league, and then finally joined Nativz. To collective all of that, he's been around the block and he's only 19 years old. It's showing how many teams really had interest in him. So I'm so excited to see what this top laner can bring to this team.
All right, how about Nulu? What do you have to say about him, Sandbag?
The Nulu's the inverse, honestly. Smurfy, 19-year-old, almost approaching prodigy status. Nulu is representing for the old men. This guy has been playing pro for longer than a lot of people have been playing point blank. Man has 3 different names he has been played under. He might be known as Selfie, he might be known as Corey, Nulu is what he goes by currently. He's been on teams all the way from LCS squads, such as my own beloved Cloud9. The Super Hot Fire is another team that he's represented as well, and he's just been around the league for a million years, bouncing team to team. The veterancy is the kind of foundation. He's known for these melees, but he's also going to be this well-known, stable component to this squad.
Really nice. I'm so excited to see them playing tonight. And well, should we take a look at our roster video? It's actually very cool, very funny. Can we put that on?
Live from London, this is BBC News.
As recently announced on Televenska Svenska, the Irish team Nativz are fielding a new roster of outs for, quote, another banger split in the NLC. This time they're investing in a new AD carry who potentially may be a furry. Let's have a look.
Ska det inte vara möjligt att leva i den här världen utan att vara IT-expert? Nej, säger han har bestämt att Sverige ska vara bäst i världen på digitalisering. Och hur går det då? Men hur ska vi då få med de äldre på tåget? Jag antar att det är svårt att få någon att bli digital genom att tvinga dem ut och säga att nu kan du deklarera.
Lulu. Come here, Lulu. Boom! Is that the best AD carry in Sweden? Oh my god.
In Umeå. Fan vad deppigt. Recept och trädgårdstid. Vilken deppig sökhistorik du har. Men nej.
Milliyetçi Hareket Partisi olarak istikrar arayan bir ülkeyiz. İstikrar içinde uyumlu, güçlü bir iktidar yapısının oluşturmasını arzulamaktayız. Meclisimizin de böyle bir koalisyon oluşumuna imkan vereceğine inanmaktayız.
O manifestacji, która ma dojść pod plac Powstańców Warszawy, ale co tam na plac, ale co pod siedzibą, przed siedzibą Telewizji Polskiej zastanie? Czego pan jest świadkiem, panie premierze?
After all, everyone already knows that the tweet that Selfie is coming back to the scene at friend from Poland. I didn't see this guy playing like forever. I don't think that he is a good prospect.
I spent the night in the jungles of Borneo, one of the toughest environments known to man. Yesterday I put a fish trap out. This time it seems looks like I'm out of luck.
Do you know what? I really thought we'd get something there. Kind of disappointing. Anyway.
Politiet i Oslo har pågrepet 8 ungdommer mistenkt for ran.
Nej, kom igen, Greta!
Men det får du...
Helvetesblodet! Så jakta på meg!
Får du ikke gjort noe med?
Hele forbannet tida!
Det får du ikke gjort noe med, ikke sant? Så ikke du drar på
Jeg blir så forbannet!
Nå kan du høre på.
For i helvete forbannet!
That was definitely something. I had a good time watching it. Hope you guys as well. And now we actually have the table standing, so we can take a look at it.
Oh, we get to see us right in the middle of the pack. Nativz 1-1. I'm still waiting for the day where we are going to be first place like we were last regular split. But most likely, I'm excited to see how the rest of these teams have been doing because, of course, like I said before, been around the block, know all these Division 2 teams. And for me, of course, a Nativz fan through and through, Lions Creed and Venomcrest, they both were in Division 2, and now they're top of the standings. So it's good to see the teams I used to support really doing well here.
Really doing well. I hope we can get a first place very soon. Also looking forward to that. Sendback, do you have any comments here?
I mean, we're only 1 win away. To be fair, we are only 1 away from the very top so far, so it's not like we've lost much ground drop in a single game to arguably best or second best squad in the entires. So, like I said, tons to play for, but starting right here up against Venomcrest, what are we thinking odds-wise, Zath?
Odds-wise is a difficult one because this isn't the same Venomcrest team compared to what we saw last season. I think they swapped like 4 or 5, maybe even the whole roster at this point when they started coming up. And Venomcrest, if people didn't know last season, they went undefeated until they got into the playoffs where they dropped 1 or 2 games. But except for that, an undefeated team, so they're going to be very difficult to go up against. So if Nativz are able to pick up the win here, it's going to be huge for their success. So rounding it out with what you said, I still think we can be the favourites towards this because when you saw the video, we have some big names on this roster, but I think it's going to be a close, like 55 to 45. Seriously, any of these two teams could take it today.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Getting anxious now. And just a quick reminder that we also have our watching party that will be going on Discord and is being hosted by our own Hanivai, our community manager. The link will be on comment Discord, so you can join her to watch it with us. And call out to our beautiful sponsors. We have Ireland Esports Collegiate Series, Ireland's only esports series specifically for third level students. Valorant, Rocket League, CS2, League of Legends, EAFC 24. Registrations are closing on the 2nd of February. Oxen is another official sponsor of ours. They provide our official kit, or merch, really cool. And we also have Allotment, our official purpose partner, acting to preserve the coral reefs of Koh Tai in Thailand and support the local communities. We have all of them on Comment. So Comment Oxen, Comment Allotment, and Comment IECS if you want to take a look at their links. And we're getting very close to our draft time, to game time. What do you guys have to say more? What do you expect? Do you think they will pick any favorite champions, any specific champions that will definitely be banned this game?
I will. It's hard to say because, like Sandbag said before, there's only 2 games to really take a look at. But from everything I've seen coming out from this Nativz side, Smurfy does like to have somebody in the top lane that can be left alone, like the Aatrox or the Cassante, which means this team should be very bot lane focused, especially if Rusty Sniper, like the boss said, best AD carry in Sweden because Reckless has gone over and become a support now. So I feel like if they play through this bot lane, it could have a very big chance of finding these big successes. But the thing I'm most concerned about is the last 2 games we saw them, their bot lane is just having troubles just trying to exist in the lane. So I'd really like it for the jungler to come down there a little bit more, maybe find a few more ganks. If they're able to do that, there's no reason Nativz can't take this game.
Sandbag, what can we expect from mid lane?
Playing from the mid lane, as much as I would love a return to the old melee heavy, the Kassadin, the Fizz, the Katarina, the Yasuo that he made a name for himself back in the day, I fear controlled mages are everywhere. It's going to be Ori, it's going to be Azir, it's going to be Corki. Nico's about as exciting as it gets these days, and I expect to see the table tennis match that mid devolves to, where the mid laners don't actually fight mid laners. Mid laners fight jungle camps. They fight bot laners. They fight anything that kind of moves in the river generally, and don't interact with the enemy mid half the time anyway. So I love to see this style of kind of push and roam seems to be pretty pervasive, and I expect more of the same kind of here for this 3rd game.
Hopefully, yes, fingers crossed. Do we have any comments on how you think the strategy should be against Venomcrest?
Well, knowing the way that Venomcrest has played beforehand, I definitely think having a focus towards this late game style has really suited us better. Because when we talk about veterancy, on our team, we have a 25-year-old, 26-year-old, and a 24-year-old, which for a lot of teams, they would say is old. For me, I say they're just experienced. They know what to do. And when you get to these mid to late game fights, even with Season 14 and all these changes, you still need to get Baron to win the game. You still need to do plenty of other things to get there. So if they're able to get to this late game, I really think they just have the mental edge on them.
Hopefully. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that. And here comes our draft. We already have a few champions that are banned, favorites on the pick. You guys want to comment on that?
Yeah, so the reason we actually have the Varus first pick has been very powerful as an AD carry early on. Gives you that push pressure, able to pair something with the Melio or even go a little bit more aggressive than the Nautilus. Most likely the Melio to be coming out. And now that that has been picked up, Nativz most likely is wanting to pick their bot lane as well here. Maybe to counteract something like the Varus. But instead, seeming like Nulu wants that comfortability of the mid lane of the Azir. Sandbag, I'm sorry. I think it's mage on mage again.
It might be mage on mage, although I will say the Azir is the most exciting variant of it, in my opinion. The order is given, he always has that slide, he has that Emperor's Divide, he can playmake. I believe he's already been featured on the NLC once for one of those highlight moments, that flash play in the mid T1. So he is the most exciting variation of, please just don't be the Corki into it, because that just kind of, that's where it all goes wrong. Nocturne, however, far more exciting than one of these mage mids.
Yeah, no, you're completely correct about that. The Nocturne is going to give a little bit more interest to this game because the way that Nativz want to play is they want to try and get in there. They want to find these big engages. And when you see a Varus on the enemy team, what do you want to do? You want to dive it because it's immobile. And that's exactly the way Nativz is trying to play. So they are going to be locking in their second and third pick of the Belveth and the LeBlanc. The reason that they picked the Belveth is it is going to be safe in the jungle. It is actually very good into the Nocturne because Nocturne doesn't ever really win that 1v1.
Yep, far more exciting here than I feared. It's much more interesting. We have the LeBlanc. Push and roam, still absolutely the case, but this is going to be skirmish heavy. Looking for those chains, both chains of corruption as well as the LeBlanc E. The Cassante is Smurfy, the brick wall. He will eventually, I believe it was referenced, immortal status is the point that Cassante hits once he hits roughly item 3-ish, where you may as well just be hitting terrain at that point. So trying to make sure he gets to that status, not limping too far behind.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Cassante in the top lane. Smurfy does want to be safe up here to allow his team to play somewhere else. And with that Nocturne, expect many dives either towards the mid or bot, allowing Nulu to be perfect the way he likes to play. Now we have got ourselves to the second ban phase, banning away top laners to try and make sure that Smurfy has a bit more of a comfortable time there, compared to Venomcrest that just wants to try and get away as many bot lane champions that can make this awkward. Ash of course being one of them, something that does help that engage. Maybe something else like a Kai'Sa might be getting taken away, as it does seem like a heavy dive comp coming out from Nativz.
We already have Gwen banned there, Ash probably because they showed it way too early. What would you guys pick against this Varus?
Well, like I said before, I think Kai'Sa could be a decent pickup into this. Does give you a little bit more of an engage tool later on. However, in the lane, you do get poked out a little bit more. To something just safe and simple. I've seen that Tristana has sometimes been played into it. So you can have that big engage, can have that huge damage, but most likely will be a little bit more defensive like a Sivir.
And oddly enough, the Melio as well is not present in either first rotation of bans or the picks, and that was something you highlighted as a pairing even for this Varus. So something that Nativz is, they are more happy to cover Smurfy with bans than to try and take away what is a known pairing down the bot lane, something to mention.
Yeah, the biggest issue is, even if you do ban away something like this, you also have Renata Glass, who's very good with it, and there's just so many different options for something like Nativz, because he's the kind of AD carry before Kai'Sa where you can just build whatever you want, can get paired with whoever you want, and you know it will be safe. But a champion that isn't going to be that simple to build anything it wants. We have the Jhin come up, an AD carry I haven't talked much about, is going to be safe in this bot lane, most likely going to be building that lethality, and has the curtain call when the enemy team or your team goes in, can stay in the backline and still be very useful in these big team fights.
I'm now very curious to see the support, as it's my favorite lane. Well, my second favorite. I actually migrated to jungle. Very sad to see Viego banned there, my main. But very curious to see what they're gonna pick now to go against the Jhin and against the Varus. What would you pick send back? Oh, we have a Heimer there.
The Heimer is being hovered so far. That's rule number 1. Until I see this locked in, do not give analysis on it. However, I do want to hone in on something Zath had. The wording is extremely funny to me. It will be locked. Heimer Varus in the bot lane in the year 2024. Jhin being a useful champion, he was affectionately known as Mr. Useful in the LCS for a long while, where he would always contribute, but wouldn't be able to get you over the line. However, this is the one time where I feel like it's acceptable here in Venomcrest. The tankiest member they have is Mininar at periods of time. So you are going to not have to worry about this, you know, rapid fire cannon, fleet footwork Jhin trying to like take 10 HP off a Cho'Gath. This is someone that you can actually look to scrap and burst people out with that Jhin.
Yeah, and of course with Jhin you want to go for more of a lethality route, and how lethality likes to work is you need to be ahead of the curve. If they build too much armor compared to you, you deal 0 damage compared to crit items late game, which are going to be stronger. So this Jhin needs to find an early game lead. Otherwise, he will deal okay damage, but he will never get to that point where you hear that crit shot and you're like, that's going to kill me in just a second. But I actually love this last pick of the Karma coming out from the side of Nativz. The main reason I love it is when the Heimer tries to poke you out, when the Varus tries to poke you out, it can just be there, more of a defensive tool. And when they want to engage, you just mantra W them. Your whole team is just super fast. Add something like the speed ups from your items. There's no way the other side of Venomcrest are going to be able to get away from you.
It's gonna be a very tough battle.
Yes, it will be very difficult indeed. However, for my personal opinion, I believe that Nativz do have slightly the better comp, and even in the late game, I feel like it's mostly going to come down to Nulu in this mid lane. Remember, the most veteran member of our teams, of course, C9 and everything, and if there's a person to put your trust in late game, it definitely would be that man out of everyone.
Well, he has to bring it home. He has the experience, has everything. I think that's gonna go well.
Absolutely. I think this is something who, yes, he will provide DPS. Yes, he will provide that guaranteed floor that a control mage will. But like I said, Azir has his moment to create this play, right? This X factor almost, where sometimes that play looks like you sliding in the middle of 4 people and just perishing horribly, or sometimes that play looks like a game-winning, dragon fight or elder or secure on that front. So this is going to be a champion who keep your eyes on, try and find where they're able to link up with their junglers, link up with their supports, and kind of almost buddy system is going to be where the magic will happen, is my guess.
Yeah, and the buddy system for this team is going to be quite difficult because remember, we've only had 2 games to look in how they played. Because Nativz last season were an incredible roster, able to become first place in Division 1, even bringing teams like Karmine Corp to a 5th game in EMEA Masters. But now, of course, everyone on the team is brand new. We have some big names, but they still haven't gelled perfectly together. So this roster, I'm interested to see how they are going to be playing early on. But I feel the longer the season goes, with the veterancy they have, I am very confident that this team can definitely be minimum top 4, but definitely can go higher and maybe even win the league again.
And we finally have the game ready, so time for us to see how the battle is gonna go.
And welcome to Summoner's Rift, Game 3 of the NLC Div 1, our very first game. And Zath, I don't know about you. I'm starting to feel it. Even though we are going big spread, the jitters. We're trying to find our footing, the team gelling. However, something that doesn't get talked about enough. What about the casters? What about the casters feeling gelling after a little bit of a time in the mid, kind of in between, a lot of holidays, a lot of downtime, trying to find our feet on this one as the jostling begins. The Heimer minigames, do not let him set up or you will regret it.
Yeah, we may be just getting used to coming back into casting, but someone who seems very comfortable with their champion is Venomcrest support. Passy, that's a barrier on the Heimerdinger. He doesn't want to go for damage. He doesn't want to go for support. He just wants to make sure that he can stay alive as long as possible with his towers dealing the damage.
The safest place that you can be as a Heimerdinger is right where you started. And Barrier does that better than almost any other sum. So I absolutely agree with it. TP on Deadhound. Trying to flick our way through rotations on rotations on rotations. Quick head count on the TPs in this game here, Zap.
Too many for me to count. That's a solid 5 altogether. 3 on the side of Venomcrest, 2 onto Nativz. So if plays are going to be made around the map, they need to be very much sure that the enemy team doesn't have their teleport available. Because if they do, the whole entire team is going to be there. As we do see both junglers going for a little bit of a different clearing path, having Belveth going from bot, trying to clear that fully out, and then most likely going top side for a full clear, compared to someone like Nocturne, which has died top side, is now going to the bot side.
And I think an odd thing about this game is typically jungles control the early game, right? That's kind of the general agreement, where wherever your jungler is where your team is playing. However, this game looks a little bit different in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's mainly because of what junglers they picked up. Nocturne, he isn't going to be that useful until he gets towards that level 6 mark. So he wants to try and full clear, get up to that so he can finally start joining the fight. And same with Belveth. The longer you allow Belveth just to farm up, the happier that champion is going to be. So I'm expecting a little bit more of a quieter early gaming phase. And the only real fighting I might see is in this bot lane, and that's mostly just going to be poke.
However, poke isn't just poke with I mean, technically not double mage bot here, as we see the Heimerdinger continuing to march up looking for lasers. Poke is all well and good until that poke has enough AP behind it to be a second mid. However, looking to break that up here. Tether connecting onto this Heimerdinger. W lands as well. The paranoia, he doesn't get to move, and first blood goes the way of Rusty Sniper in the bot lane.
Yeah, I actually really like that play coming out from Shoei Katami. Knowing that his jungler wants to come down and help him, he goes up quickly, makes sure the Mantra W is on top of him. And it means if Pazzi even tries to flash out, the root will still come through. They will get that kill. So that's a great start coming out from Nativz.
And one of these things is not like the other. The tankiness of a Heimerdinger versus the tankiness of a Cassante. Ganks, very, very different outcome from these two junglers early on.
Yeah, of course, he did have the Ghost available, and with no real CC on the side of Venomcrest top side, there's no real way to lock him down in this early game. So we do see Nativz trying to help mid lane push out a little bit, allow Nulu to find the reset he needs, and that's one thing I do love junglers doing, just trying to support their mid laners, allowing them to farm up.
However, a bit of trouble here for the Nocturne. Doesn't get a spell shield off in time for the knockup, but is able to escape, taking about half his HP, and Chicken's in danger.
Yeah, Nulu having to go for a reset that allows them to go in towards the enemy jungle, and this will get contested by both teams.
Smite fight, 50-50 as they both have it, and is going to be grabbed up by the Nocturne. TY for Leash, walking back in, continuing his clear.
The saddest thing is, he wins that Smite fight, but they're exactly even on gold, so it's not like it really amounted to much by the end of it. However, something that might amount to something is there is a gank in the top side.
Nard does not have any rage built up here, so no chance of Narring out. Going to be continuing just push forwards, using the Umbra Blades here for that Nocturne passive, trying to push. However, he's fancying his chances is this Gnar, and he has reinforcements incoming. Hop forwards, connecting onto this Karma. She is going to be chaining them up, but falling herself. The other answer back. Zubak is able to grab that one up. First kill of the game for the jungle.
A little overconfidence coming out from the Nativz side, thinking they have the numbers advantage because Karma was able to move first. However, if you allow something like a Gnar to just constantly keep poking you out with his range, he is going to slowly start stacking up that damage, and then you may be tanking up top lane, but if you're constantly getting poked out, they will be able to kill you, and that's exactly what happened in the top side. So it is going to be one kill apiece on both of these teams, but that does mean 3 Void Grubs over to the side of Venomcrest.
Yep, more than happy to grab that up as Belveth. It's the sneaky thing about Gnar, right? It's just exponential, where he gets his hyper, and then you're slowed, so he's faster, so you're slowed again, and all of a sudden that gets out of control. Hard CC or not, you're not making it out of that one in one piece.
Yeah, Cassante, he needs to get himself the armor boost before he can really, truly feel safe in this lane without anyone trying to contest him. I'm expecting him to feel a little bit safer than before because he has started this call. He knows that Cassante is never really going to be able to kill him in this lane.
Nope, not in any threat whatsoever. He's going to be trying to just print that money, invest it for later. And the classic blue side Grubs, red side Drake, tale as old as the last patch is going to continue here as the Nocturne continues whittling his way through these jungle camps.
Yeah, he's actually been doing super well to keep up with farm with Zubak and being able to get himself the dragon in the early game. We're going to have to see if Nativz do actually want to keep stacking these drakes, so they don't really have too much affiliation with it, because the problem I'm seeing with Nativz comp is they don't really have that much pressure except for kills. If they ever want to try and, you know, push the wave, they really don't have many people to do that except for Nulu.
Yeah, Nulu's got his space, and even Jhin has like reasonable amounts of range. Karma, Jhin, the two. However, the chain's landing onto the Azir. He has flash, he has ults, his tools are available, committing that Emperor's Divide and the flash as well. And yet, Painful has enough, the W to finish, distorts forwards and picks up the solo kill, answered in kind. Paranoia onto the bot lane as Pazzi explodes. Auto will finish off the knock. It is corpses littering the rift as the last shot flies harmlessly past the head of Deadhound. 2 for 1 across the map.
Still looking though. Is not going to amount to anything but a flash onto Shoei Katami. Big win from the side of Venomcrest, able to get a kill in the mid lane. It felt like Nulu was just a little bit overconfident, knowing that he had a dash out and flash available. Thought he was able to walk up that far, but Painful with a great change being able to pick up that first kill. And then down bot lane as well, we saw the jungler of Nocturne trying to get it straight when that level 6 was open, not knowing the amount of damage Venomcrest bot lane has, because Heimer is kind of a weird one where he does have quite a bit of burst damage if he is able to hit a full W or full E.
Yep, once he has that turret stacking, for those of you who don't play that champion, if you connect either one of those spells, it fully charges his turret's laser, which is the guts of the burst damage up front from this guy, so it's deceptive, right? That's what we were talking about, where a mage, he is not, and yet feels like one all the same here as the scuffle continues. 3-man mid, supports move, jungles move, everyone hangs out, and the waves continue to hang out in the mid lane.
Yeah, constant roams coming into the mid lane. I'm expecting Nulu to want to reset or try and move with his jungler. That's why they try to help push this out. Fortunately, from the side of Nativz, they do have the first dragon towards their name, which means they can give up the second one if possible, as Lenny is trying to set up a little bit of a top lane push here, trying to make sure that Smurfy, even though he is getting his minions, will be losing that tower little by little.
Yeah, whittle him down with the proxy here as Zubak has the reinforcements. This time, Smite going the way of Venomcrest's jungler. Zubak swiping away that blue buff and is able to continue exerting pressure on the Nocturne.
Yeah, and it's looking very good from the side of Venomcrest slowly through this game as they got themselves over 1,000 gold lead with just a little bit better macro from this team, and with a reward coming out from Painful, they are doing super good job and making sure to know where this Nocturne is.
I love the vision toggle there of never quite know if LeBlanc was lurking trying to chunk you out, if she's moving back to her lane. It's trying to make sure that you're staying deceptive here, the name of the game for this LeBlanc.
Yeah, and one thing I'm quite curious about is I'm not too sure what LeBlanc builds anymore, because of course beforehand you had that static shift to try and push out this lane. I'm going to be interested to see how quickly LeBlanc can push it out with the different itemization this season.
Considering I have seen LeBlancs run everything from full energized to Triforce to full AP to anything in between, it wouldn't surprise me, but hold that, we have a Gnar incoming here as the curtain is called, immediately popping Smurfy, the tank falls, Chains of Corruption onto the back line, now Jhin trying to get himself involved, but the Gnar all out, he picks up 2 with the scoop, his team cleans it up, Rusty Sniper trying to finish him off with a flash in, but doesn't have enough. Double kill goes the way of Deadhound, and 3 men down for the side of only 1 for Venomcrest.
Yeah, it was just too much damage coming out from the side of Venomcrest. We quickly take a re-look at this fight. At the start of this, already Smurfy's fully taken out. Newly tries going to the backline, but he just can't deal any damage from this. And Rusty Sniper, we talked about before how something like a Jhin can't really carry these fights, and this is a good example of it. Another AD carry may have been able to do it, so it may just be a little bit of a champion differential there.
He's just got a very specific set of strengths, right? You can't say champion differential when he's the one who got the pick on a Zubak, right? Curtain was called as now we have Smurfy stepping away with the footwork, but chain lands all the same. Here comes Nulu to reinforce his solo laner. Stuns connecting. They are chipping down the lanes of both native solos, but it will not be enough to draw anything more than some damage.
Yeah, but we should actually take a look at the summoners used by both these teams. There's no flash available on any member on the side of Nativz, which is going to be a huge deal for the next dragon spawn in the next 15 seconds if they do want to try and contest this. Because it means that Painful, even though he doesn't have flash himself, if he ever gets on top of Rusty Sniper or any of these immobile people on the side of Nativz, it's going to be so easy to blow them up.
Yep, no safety nets this time. There is no devours. There are no flashes. You have to try and play this one spaced correctly. And Zubat forced back to try and hit on these Raptors. They have vision control so far, do Natives, but for how long can they hold it as they move back towards their lanes?
I've actually really liked for them to try and go for this dragon, mostly because of the teleport advantage they had in the top side. Lenny would not have been able to join the fight compared to Smurfy. There was a small opportunity to find that 4 versus 5, be able to get that second dragon, and even though they are losing by a slight amount of 2,000 gold, it would have at least given themselves a little bit more of comfortability in this late game, knowing that if anything goes wrong, stat these drakes, get the damage from that, and get yourself back into this game.
Yep, that insurance policy, right? Where you know that you'll be able to delay it out by, if you get the first 20 minutes. Absolute bare minimum that you'll be able to stall out until facing a soul. And yet, maybe didn't feel like they had the priority to do so, didn't feel like they were quite safe. And so retreating back, it's still up for grabs. Nulu under fire, the knockup connecting. He slides over the wall, and now a flash for flash. Painful forces it. 3-man into the river, trying to find their way onto this jungler. Breaking the tether is Zubak. So it's going to be a bit of a wild goose chase here. Rusty Sniper and Painful can no longer rewind. The distortion ran out, and Jhin finishes what he started. Shut down to the AD carry of Natives.
Yeah, they used quite a lot to try and get the kill onto Nulu. However, with the flash available, able to get himself out to safety, and they may have been able to not feel comfortable beforehand to find this dragon, but with a kill ahead with Painful with no teleport in sight, this should be a second Drake over to the side of Nativz without any contestation.
I'm not so sure about any contestation coming through here. 3k left on the Drake, Zubak poking and prodding as the Heimerdinger over the wall. He does have that upgrade here as the W goes wide. Able to smite this one down. The fight kicking off in the background. Right now it is Drake for 1. The curtain's called, diffusing the situation for now. It is the Heimer on the run, tanking up 2 of those shots, down to 1/3 HP. He will be forced to retreat on out. They get their prize, but they do lose a member in trade.
Yeah, I still think that's a big win for Nativz overall, getting themselves that second dragon. But, however, even though stuff is going good on the bot side, top lane still getting a little bit of a rough time, with Lenny being able to pick up 3 tower plates to his name before the 14-minute mark of them falling off.
Now, here's the question that I get to ask you, the big brain, the analyst. Is that hard enough? Have you been able to punish him hard enough? Yeah, Painful living up to the name, 1/3 HP left on Nocturne. Has Lenny been able to squeeze enough out of the coal of Smurfay? Or is this just standard Cassante gameplay, CN 3 items mode?
I definitely think it's a little bit more standard than usual, except for the first death that happened earlier on. You usually expect in the top lane around a 15 to 20 CS deficit from someone like a melee champion. Aswari Katami does have to flash there. We'll have to see if that means anything later on. And with that flash not getting used or getting used by Nativz, this should be the Rift held over to the side of Venomcrest.
Yep, they're able to grab that one up completely free and clear, giving Belveth that upgraded form thanks to the coral. So she's going to be floating around looking to place that one down. The empowered recall being at anyone who contributed to it is always something that trips me up when I see the purple on other people. But it is in fact going to be on just Zubak this time.
Yeah, it took me about 2-3 weeks to notice that it's for everybody their first recall when they get back. They're able to pick that up. As we do see Shari Katami doing a bit of poke damage to Painful, able to push out this wave. But I'd love for Zubak to use this Rift Held maybe in towards the mid lane, getting yourself that mid lane tower earlier on. But instead, I think they're looking topside.
Gonna set up a dive, and Smurfay wants nothing to do with it. Pops the ghost early, footwork to safety, and just pieces out of that situation. Not liking his chances, losing his summoner for it.
I really like that play coming out from the side of Venomcrest, getting your jungler to come up, able to get yourself a Rift Tower, and not having to use it on the first tower does mean they might be able to pick up the second tower completely for free, as it's still taking a little while from the side of Nativz to be looking.
Reinforcements incoming though, and here comes the Paranoia, able to connect even through the hop of the Gnar, who's under fire, and hope for strike number 3. He's got a fall, and he does indeed. Picking off 2 from some very nice rotation. Jhin grabbing up jungle, top falling as well. They do lose the tower by the very end of it, but punishing the second charge heavily.
Yeah, and that's huge from the side of Nativz, because that's probably the best you could have wished for, being able to get the double kill in the top side and really playing your champions how they were meant to build it. You can see the gold graph below you. It's been a slow trickle up from this Venomcrest slide, trying to get themselves slight leads by slight leads. Fortunately, with that play happening from the side of Nativz, that gold graph has gone a little bit lower, so it is only 1.5k now.
Yep, holding it around 1.5 and 2 dragons to their name that we touched on earlier, so you're not in danger of the game snowballing away from you anytime soon. You've got that late game insurance. My eyes start to flit towards Deadhound. Quietly, while there's been action all across the map, and it feels like it's the Jhin who's more flashy with his engages, his contributions. 4-0-0, and holding steady up against Rusty Sniper here is this Varus.
Yeah, has the Youmu's, has opportunity in his pocket. It may be powerful for him in these big team fights, but with the abilities he's trying to do, he is going to be a very heavy poke champion where he wants to try and burst somebody out in these team fights. So it's going to be interesting to see if he is able to hit his abilities, because Rusty Sniper is kind of doing the same thing. Already got 2 items complete before, so it really feels like it's going to be a 5 of the 80 carries in the next team fight, most likely around this dragon in a minute.
And with the kind of resurgence of the lethality style AD carries, target selection matters now more than ever, honestly.
Yeah, you are completely correct about that. And with Varus, how I'm seeing the enemy team trying to go against, he can never walk up until he knows that Nocturne has used that ultimate. Because if he's able to hold that ultimate for so long, even if Deadhound has this huge amount of damage, it's still a Nocturne. He will be winning that 1v1 if you don't have a lot of HP.
Not to mention the specific interaction. Normally it's, well, Varus isn't mobile, but he has his own self-peel. And then Nocturne presses Spell Shield. And then your self-peel kind of flies into the side of him with no worries. And speaking of which, here comes the curtain call, the Paranoia 2, flash out from the AD carry. Blocking up is the jungle, as now Zubak taking a bullet for his marksman, but health bars drop to a third on 3 members.
Yeah, no kills went over. Venomcrest do have to give up the dragon unless they want to expend 2 teleports to get themselves back into this fight. And we talked about it before. Just get straight onto Deadhound, no matter how much damage he has. If he has to flash away with 0 HP, there's no way he can contest this. So great play from Nativz, no matter the gold lead.
Yep, Nulu playing bodyguard here to make sure Zubak can't do anything cheeky and look for some sort of dip in, dip out smite with the dashes of this jungle. And so, we find ourselves down gold on Soul Point, and it starts to crank up here a little bit.
Yeah, and one thing I'm trying to think about this Venomcrest team is if they do go on to Deadhound, Zubak is there who can do a bit of damage, but there's no one ever to defend him. So even though we have Pasky, who maybe have his towers there, it's not really that dimensional support like the Melio I talked about before that can give a little bit more of a defensive capability.
Yep, no kickback, no cleanse. He's got a stun of his own, so if they do layer those appropriate, Chains of Corruption alongside that Heimerdinger stun, maybe they can just freeze him where he stands, but coordination very important, and coordination when Nocturne reduces your monitor to the size of an iPhone 1 is easier said than done.
Yeah, it's very difficult to try and go against the Nocturne because even in these most coordinated teams, it's very hard to know exactly what's happening when you don't have that extra vision because it's just comfortability, I would say. If you're always against the Nocturne, sure, you'll be used to it, but a lot of these teams aren't used to having a Nocturne in their game every single time.
So with this moment, where we have the lane parity almost restored, Dragon's not up for another 3 minutes, and Baron just popping his head into the rift, we do in fact have that terrain change. The 3 Barons is always such a novel thing to me, and the spells, you actually have to tank it now. It's an actual objective, not just a loot pinata, which is always a great feeling. Who are we looking for in terms of main characters? And the answer might come to you quicker than you'd think. Paranoia onto the back lines. Nocturne in a 1 versus 4. Biting off more than he can chew. Deadly Flourish not living up to the name as Deadhound lives. And Jakey fall.
I think that was a really good idea if Jakey didn't actually go for the 1v1 later on in Smurfay. Ghost available.
Ghost is up, and a nice sidestep onto that knockup means no more hard CC to follow up. Sidestep away here as Nulu underneath the top T2 picks off his enemy and gets answered in kind by Deadhound. Both mid laners fall. Jakey still on the summoning platform, and they're itching to get going here from these 2 squads.
Yeah, but the most important thing is Painful actually using Flash in that last engagement does actually mean it won't be up for the main important fight in a minute's time, which is going to be that dragon. So we're going to have to see if Nativz can try and get something from that. So I think every play Nativz was making was good until...
Back into the back lines, trying to get its way onto Rusty Sniper. The second shield still doesn't cut it as Zubak is able to grab Rusty Sniper. He is avenged, but it is still flash down for Marksman just after we called out Painfuls.
Yeah, I'm talking about how important flashes are for this next fight. Now this means when that fight actually happens, just wait a second, we are going to be getting a replay of this top lane fight. Because we didn't actually get to experience this beforehand. I know that Nulu was able to poke out, most likely going to have to use the ultimate here. But it's just not really the best play coming out from Nativz because you actually get a kill topside. But overall, it doesn't really net you a positive or a negative.
Yep, it is answered in kind here. Painful loses his, Rusty Sniper loses his. Deadhound's flash is coming up for this 90-second Drake fight if they look for this soul contest, which I'm sure you will. Whatever your feelings on these soul strengths are, you'd rather take one than none at all, as mid T1 hangs on by a thread.
Yeah, they're using everything they can to finally take it down, and it's still up.
Although they might have been baited here, Paranoia onto the back lines is once again trying to dink his way onto the marksman, shuffles his way onto 3. Nulu has arrived. Casante yanks him off screen. It is Lenny in a 3 versus 1, runs into the waiting arms. He does get the trade here on the Nulu, but it is Smurfy holding them at bay while Nativz wreaks house.
Nativz with such confidence to pick up the win in that big team fight, and it all really came down to that first engage with Rusty Sniper getting them to all fall apart, allowing the rest of the team of Jakey going in first, getting a little bit of damage off, and then Nulu at the end being able to find an incredible ultimate in the backline. And this was all because the fight beforehand, we saw the flash getting used by Dead Hound, so he wasn't available. And it felt like Venomcrest were kind of baited by this tower. They wanted to try and get this down. They tried their best to use everything, but take a look. 3 of their members already half HP. Jakey can go in, flashes out straight away afterwards, get him out to safety. But look at Nulu, a double kill with that streamer shuffle. Basically ends everything Venomcrest wants if they are going to be able to pick up their 4th Drake of the game here.
Yep, Lenny does get 1 in trade, and normally you want to call out excellent plays by the players of Venomcrest. I gotta give it to the structure on that one. Acting performance of a lifetime here. Yeah, you can finish it off. Just take one more tower shot, and eventually here to back them up. Nativz in a great position, trying to jockey for position. Venomcrest tanking up the dragon so far. Poke of Varus and Heimer as the Gnar flips his way over to this Mega. 5k left on the Drake. Knock up onto the front line. Smurfy is annihilated, but so is the Heimerdinger. Smite comes through for the side of the blue team as now the fight kicks off. Right hand side is able to flee away from Jakey. He's in 1 versus 2 of his own. The W not enough. He's able to escape with his life for now, but it is the karma on the chase. She finishes it off with the Mantra Q. Aced and swipe away the dragon. Excuse me, I thought that was secured by Zubak, but somehow Nativz claim it.
Yeah, it was a very close fight coming out of this because we talked about the flash beforehand actually available from Deadhound, and they're keeping this really good front to back available, making sure that they can deal damage without having anyone to get on top of him. And with the dragon trying to get stolen from Jakey, he is able to get the fight to be split in half, and this is where Nativz truly get themselves the victory here, because it's all about finding that scrappy fight. So if there's ever a good front to back, that's the way the Venomcrest take it.
Cheeky. Nulu. I was looking at Jakey and saying, okay, he's not in smite range, just hold that point. Smurfy, a long way from home, is going to be isolated and killed, and we might have to hold that as they looked for a little bit more here. Emperor's Divide has already been cast, meaning the terrain will slow but not halt them. Zubak picks up a shutdown. Azir gets a trade of his own. It's getting scrappy as both of these teams, soul given, not ready to give it up quite yet, or Venomcrest.
Yeah, but this must be a very big confidence boost from the side of Nativz, of course being 1-1 in the standards, and Venomcrest clearly being the second best team, either competing to be the first, and we're doing this well against them. This Nativz roster is definitely something to look at. Of course, this game isn't over, still Baron available onto the AD carry of the jungler. We should be able to defend it here, and I'm expecting when everybody starts coming back up, maybe pushing out these waves just a little bit further. They are going to be looking for a fight.
Ult, he is mini, and he is down. Sniper is able to grab him up with a quick pair of curtain call shots. Yeah, without any armor to speak of, except for a pair of shoes on his feet. That is quick work made of Mini Gnar.
Sandbag, I'm not going to lie. I used to think Jhin was kind of bad in the nicest way. When everybody picked Jhin, I was like, oh, okay, you're picking that. That's fine. He deals some damage. What was that? He absolutely he said goodbye. He literally just said...
It's exactly what we said in draft. If you're hitting a tank, Mr. Useful is Mr. Useful in air quotes. But if you're hitting someone who doesn't stack 3k armor and 5k HP, you kind of do this to them. As Varus... Bye-bye. 4th shot as Rusty Sniper goes dominating, putting on a show on the Jhin so far. 10 kills so far, 27 minutes in.
I think that's the best AD carry in Sweden, I believe. How the hell do we get him onto Nativz? He's going absolutely insane here, being 10-2 and 6.
Flash here from Zubak. He's able to find his way on a Sniper, repositions, able to crit in the backlines. He goes godlike. His team leads the charge. Emperor's Divide not going to be able to connect here as he is stunned up against the wall by that Gnar, but he's double killed nonetheless. Nativz march their way into Venomcrest space. Alone Heimer versus the Red Tides here as Nativz look to put the finishing touches on it. Paranoia into the backlines. W from downtown, and that is all she wrote. Nativz go 2-1 here in week 2.
What confidence. What absolute confidence at the end. Because as the game started, I was a little bit nervous about Nativz. A little bit nervous about how we were going to do as well. But I feel like as we got more comfortable, the team got more comfortable. And by the end there, I can't even explain in words how beautiful that was to watch, especially with that two-man ultimate from Nulu, from Rusty Sniper at the end there, kind of just styling on him, being like, okay, you want to see the best AD carry in Sweden? Let me show you what the best AD carry in Sweden can do. As they went from kind of winning to just, oh, the game's over now.
Yup, that is what happens. You even said it yourself. When a lethality champion is ahead of the curve, that game ceases to be. And he got ahead of the curve thanks to some excellent plays. Everyone almost felt like they were like, they heard their role. They're like, okay, up in the top lane, I'm a rock. I just survived ganks. Okay, survives 2 ganks in the early game. Okay, jungle, paranoia, disruption, onto the back line. You're just running for your life as a Varus because your lights are out and there's a guy flying at you a Mach 12. Okay, now we support, okay, the veterancy, the shot calling here out of the mid laner. Let's just get a 3-man shuffle. 4-man shuffle will do pretty good here. And everyone just down the line hitting their roles beautifully. And what more can you ask for? This is a team who's coming online.
Yeah, I think it comes with the amount of veterancy we have on this team. Because, of course, the top laner of Smurfy being the 19-year-old, everybody else has been around the block. They have seen what League of Legends can be through these seasons. So when they get to those late-game moments, they know exactly what to do. And I want to give massive props to both Rusty Sniper Nulu and Jakey, because those fights were incredible, having Rusty Sniper opening up, starting those big engages. Nulu going in, doing a little bit of damage, just saying, I'm done now. You finish them off, Nulu, as he just flies in there to finish it off. This is what League of Legends is. This is what Nativz is. And I'm so excited to see these next weeks and see exactly what this team can become.
That was just beautiful. I was watching it from here and that was unbelievable. Nulu definitely showed what he can bring to the table. The whole team just worked so well together. It was beautiful to see. I'm actually really looking forward to being able to talk to Nulu now. He's going to join us for a quick Q&A session. Sorry, Rusty is going to join us for a real quick Q&A session. Do you have him ready?
I believe that we are quickly getting him set up in the video ninja, so we might need a quick second before he comes in. But I want to talk to him. Rusty, hello.
Yo, hello. Everyone hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Before we start, do I go like what do I do? Is glasses better?
Oh, absolutely. Glasses are the call.
Yeah.
This is a business meeting. You look so handsome, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Likewise.
Amazing with the glasses. How do you feel after this game?
Well, I feel really really good about it. I was really hyped to play, and I was really glad to win. Like, I wouldn't have been feeling better if we beat like any other team in the league. Very happy.
I feel like you're very happy with today's draft as well, then.
I mean, yeah, we were a bit wrong in our predictions, but it ended up being good. Good draft anyway. So happy all around. Yeah.
Good. Do you guys want to ask him a few questions?
First of all, why are you so suited up? Is it a thing you do for every time you're on here? Are you just before game like I need to get ready for this game? I'm professional, because at the end now, I'm not gonna lie, you absolutely popped off on Jin. Flash forward, you're just like this is my game to win.
Yeah. So I came to this like a jump interview, I tried to play it as cleanly and as as well prepared as possible, trying to read their mind, see what they're thinking, playing, calculating everything, bro. There was a lot of calculations going through my head
200.
at this game. A lot of damage numbers and stuff like that. But yeah, bottom line is we beat them with style in game and out of game as well. That's it.
We can definitely say that we're a very stylish team.
Yeah, yeah.
Really nice, really cool. And very quick question: what does the spring split mean to you in terms of your career?
It was a big thing, you know, like from bottom team to top team in one split. That's kind of crazy, right? I'm really happy with the amount of tryouts I got and the level of the tryouts. So I'm very happy with everything, and this split means a lot. This is the first split. I feel like I've gotten an opportunity to shine in a team with good players and structured environment with good scrims and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you? Sorry, go on.
no, sorry. It's only because I've actually been cast you for quite a while because I did a little bit of Division 2 stuff back in the day. Of course, you did play for Jailing, so it is good to see you slowly just climbing up those ranks, getting yourself to the place. I'm expecting you to be in the LEC when I'm in the LEC.
Okay, that's a
We'll
good
see each
deal,
other there.
You know, we put a good word in for each other,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
How do you feel then about your role in the current meta for both solo queue but also competitive?
In solo queue, kind of been smurfing it, not gonna lie. Next patch is huge. Like, I'm talking about being a D1 hard stuck. This patch, next patch, 25 games in 3 days, hit Grandmaster, 70% win rate. Next patch is mine, bro. Like, if you thought I was good this patch, next patch, it's gonna be crazy. Complete crazy.
We
But
like
yeah,
the content.
I like the like slow ADCs, like the Zeri, the Sivir, the Vayne, and then I also like the turbo go in, show them what the fuck you can do. Oh, sorry, what you can do with your hands as well.
Fine.
Yeah,
My bad.
banned after that one.
Sorry.
No, you're
But
all
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's all
Kinda, I
good.
wanted to follow on with that a little bit of this rise of lethality champions. It feels like the community's pretty split on these lethal champions. We were kind of joking, Mr. Useful for Jin.
Mm.
Are you a fan of this? I can only hit squishy champion AD carry, or how do you feel about how that's been shaking out recently?
So there's like a lot of like mental games going into draft. Like, if I go Jin, will they go tank? Like what options do they have and stuff like that. But of course, in a game like this, Jin is crazy, bro. Like, I ult kill everyone. Doesn't matter who it is. So I kind of like it, but at the same time it's kind of repetitive, and I prefer to have like Kai Sasaya, like the DPS champions, because they require the most hands. So like love-hate relationship kind of.
Can we also open questions for the chat? And in the meantime, while we wait for the questions, could you tell us a little bit more about you, even outside the game? Like, what other hobbies do you have?
Okay. So I go to school. I do like engineering. I don't know like specifics in English. Prefer not to like butcher anything. And then I gym. Like, if you got like, imagine you're playing against an ADC and that guy benches like 100 kg. Like, your self-esteem just drops, and then I've already won. So I do gym. I hang out with friends. We have like what we call like Donken Rush in Sweden. It's like you speed run McDonald's basically. I like to do that every week with my friends. So we go like 12 a.m. speed run McDonald's, go back home, game.
No, I want to know your fastest time. Like, what do you order from McDonald's? And like, do you eat it there? Do you eat it on the way? Because you probably have to eat it on the way if you want to speedrun it, right?
No, that's like illegitimate, or it's fake speedrun. Like, you have to eat it there. You have to order like 3-course meal. You have to have dessert, everything there, and you have to, you know, basically finish it as soon as possible. So yeah, I mean, our record, it's kind okay. We get caught up in like talks and stuff like that. So like 2 hours. It's maybe it's not speedrunning for us, but yeah.
That needs to get worked on. I
Yeah.
actually want a video from you. If we can get the Nativz people to try and help you out with that, I want a full video of you running into McDonald's, getting your food, telling them what you do, and just running back eating it while having to answer questions.
Ooh,
Could be a
yeah.
perfect video.
Yeah, honestly, with that Jin movement speed, it might be a world record. Who knows?
Yeah.
Very good
I'll do
balance,
that.
gym and McDonald's. We have a few questions coming on the chat right now. So the first one, how do you think the new void monsters and map adjustment affect the game?
Oh, dude, playing bot lane is torture. Like, we're getting dove, we're getting like fist fight everywhere. It's so boring. Like I just want to scale, and then it's like, oh, but top side now played for grubs, but it's like bot lane moving up, and then it's like whoever wins bot lane or has prior bot lane, it's like taking control of the game, you know. So it's it hasn't shifted from bot to top. It's more that like bot is even more important now because you have to bring bot to top to play for void grubs and stuff.
Do you feel like the champion quest affected as well?
The champion what?
Quests.
Oh, I haven't even. I don't even know. Oh wait, I think I had like a quest this game, didn't I? Or maybe it was like the warm up, but I don't know anything about the champion quest. I'm gonna be honest.
No problem. No problem.
There's small interactions like Jin Hui has one. There's the Renekton Nasus one. They're more kind of. You remember the Kha'Zix Rengar one back in the day?
Yeah. That's
The hunt, the hunt, yeah. So they've been bringing that in. There's a Jax Bel'Veth one. There's a Nasus Renekton one. I don't think there was any combinations on this particular game that my memory serves. It must have been the warm up, but yeah.
Yeah, not with Jin. 100% not with Jin because
it's Jin Hui. Yeah, it's Jin
that's
Hui.
the only one. I
Yeah.
don't even know what it does. It just extra.
I know. It's whoever kills the other person with their ultimate. I don't know what the rewards are, but I don't think they're like game changing. I don't think they matter too much. It's like a.
Yeah,
Oh,
I actually believe there's a few of them that do actually give you a substantial buff because I know for Aurelion Soul and with the new dragon-looking thing,
Smolder.
Yeah, Smolder. I know that you do actually get quite a lot of buffs from that. So it depends on what matchup it is. Depends on how important it is.
I see.
We have another question, a very interesting one. Rusty, what new fursuit will you buy with your earnings from this split?
From this split, I had this talk with my parents. It was like buying them like perfume and stuff. But for me, last or 2 splits ago, I bought like my PC setup, everything with what I got. I'm thinking this split, I'm gonna buy a crazy watch. Like you look, it's missing, right? Like it's missing. I might go triple watch, right? Like some people have like 2 watches, but 3 watches, that could be a crazy flex, you know?
Every split, just a new watch. I'm waiting for it. So then we'll just have your whole hand filled up one day.
You know, like maybe that's probably not. Like maybe I have like a collection, right? And then I can bring like on like the interview.
Yeah, so it's almost time for us to say goodbye as Rusty will be heading to the viewing party. So we have to wrap up. Just quick reminders that the co-stream will be happening every Wednesday and Thursday. We're playing again tomorrow against Rudy Esports at 6 p.m. CET. And next week we're playing again Wednesday at 6 p.m. We still don't have the time for Thursday, but you can come and watch with us here on Twitch and on our viewing party on Discord as well. Guys, thank you so much for tonight. I hope you had a good time. I sure did with this beautiful victory. So what else do you want to say before we say goodbye?
See you guys at the watch party. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Awesome.
much, guys.
No worries.
See you all tomorrow. Bye.